Diepsloot community leaders have just come out of a lengthy meeting at the Union Buildings in Pretoria. They've laid down their concerns and demands following unrest in the area during the last few days. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu is following these developments. Let's go live to him now at the Union Buildings and find out what's happened in the meeting. Good afternoon, Manqoba. I see there's a group of leaders there behind you who've just finished their meeting at the Union Buildings. Can you tell us what happened?
Yes, Prajan. That's correct, Prajan. In fact, they just finished just a short while ago, and they are going to be briefing us about the outcomes of that meeting. So I'm just going to allow them to do that, Prajan, and just give us a briefing as far as that is concerned.
Indeed, we did meet with the deputy director in the office of the presidents. Decisions were taken that include that indeed we do have hope that we'll have the president in Diepsloot, but we have agreed together that before that can happen, we will have a session with 4 ministers that are affected. That include the Minister of Police, the Minister of Home Affairs, the Minister of Justice, and the Minister of Informal Settlement. And they will first go and engage with the community of Diepsloot with all the issues that we're complaining about in preparation for the visit of the president.
Have there been timelines that have been given as far as these commitments are concerned?
We did raise that in the meeting, that when we go to our community, we want to report time frames. On this date, this is what would happen. They have confirmed to us that on Monday, they will give us proper time frames. When this will happen, and when will these ministers come to Diepsloot, and so on and so on.
And are you happy though with the response that you got? Are you hopeful that there will be, a resolution to the issues of crime in that community, which you've been fighting for over the last few days?
Indeed, so far on our side, we're happy. We also suggested that on our side, we'll also table, as community leaders, grievances directed to each and every specific department. We'll say, this is what we want as a community of Diepsloot to this Department of Justice. This is what we want as a community of Diepsloot to Department of Police. So, in crying on our side, we also want solutions. We'll bring about also solutions. And also we've also emphasized that in the meantime, while we're waiting for these processes to be completed, while we're waiting for this meeting and time frames, we have said to the office of the presidency, they must emphasize that whoever that is in charge of police in Diepsloot, they must make sure that police are deployed there in Diepsloot now as we speak, because what we are seeking now is permanent solution. But at the moment, people are dying at the moment. So we want at the moment a police to be deployed as we speak.
And in terms of the protest, we know that it has been suspended. What's happening with that? Are you going to allow these talks to continue perhaps and then see where the protest will go?
We have agreed that let's give the office of the presidency the time that they've requested to us. Of course, we've raised that. Remember, on Friday, we're having a public meeting whereby we must give feedback to our people who have sent us here. We did not come here on our own. We have sent by the community of Diepsloot to come and table these grievances. Of course, we are leaders. We must be able to convince our people that we did receive an audience in the office of the presidency. They have promised us 1, 2, 3. Let's give them a chance to deliver on their promises.
However, it needs to be clarified. This was not just a wasteful exercise. We have commitments and we have made it very clear to the official we're engaging with that by Monday we'll get everything. I think the committee will call a press conference maybe if that is a need to tell the whole country what is it that we agreed on. And yeah, it was fruitful. And for the fact that they allowed us to come to see them, it's achievement. And we hope for better for the Diepsloot people, especially for the fact that they will make sure that there are no killings in Diepsloot from now up until Monday, their response, and we'll take it from there. And thank you very much.
How did they respond when we tell them that since January 6, people have been killed in Diepsloot? I mean, it means that the killings obviously are going up. How did they respond?
No, we raise such issues. That's why I'm saying to you, we have requested that for now they must hold on to that. We have got concrete plans that they are going to give to us that we agreed upon, and the step will be followed. Okay, let's not just deal with what has happened. Let's get the solutions. We're here to get the solutions, and we are very convinced that we have interacted with them. And if they don't listen, it's up to them. We just told them it's up to them. But there is concrete undertakings.
Fair enough, but there are members of the TRT that have been deployed specifically in Diepsloot. They are not helping. And are there some of the issues that were raised to the presidency to say that yes, there are police there, well-equipped, well-trained police officers. Now you're asking for more police to be deployed. They say, well, deploy police from today or whenever. But there are experienced police there, who are trained for this kind of the grievances that you're asking for. So now I'm just asking as to, are you convinced?
The TRT, my brother, was recently deployed during our protest. Previously, when they were deployed, they were withdrawn. Now, in a couple of days, when we were making an action, we saw them coming back again. So, in our previous experience, we'll have this complaint, they will deploy TRT, then the crime will go down. So, having the TRT in our community, indeed, it does bear fruits. So now what we have emphasized here, we don't want a temporary solution. We want a permanent solution. Hence we're here. We don't want Genani, Pumani, get in, you're being withdrawn. We don't want to hear that anymore. We want, hence we have engaged. This is the highest office in the land. These are the decision makers that must enforce these ministers to take decisive, permanent decision for the people of Diepsloot.
But how confident are you that you're going to find those lasting solutions, given that you already said that, what you've been given so far are short-term solutions, the deployment that will be removed from these areas? How confident are you this time around?
Hence, we've come to this office, Manqoba, because we had a similar engagement with one minister, with Bheki, and then who will come with the temporal solutions. Hence, we've said at this point, we don't want to engage with Minister Bheki. We want his superior so that he can enforce him to implement what we think can work for us as people of Diepsloot, which is a permanent solution, permanent TRT if there's a need in our community, more police visibility in our community, and other issues that have to do with home affairs and justice and informal settlements.
But in terms of the solution that they're coming in with, saying that it's going to be implemented today, how is that going to happen? Did they tell you what's going to happen in Diepsloot?
We don't have time frames. They've asked us to give them up until Monday, so that all these time frames, we wanted to come up with that meeting with time frames, concrete time frames, so that when we go to the community, we're able to report something that is concrete with time frame. We don't have that now, but on Monday, they have convinced us, they've assured us that they will give us such. So we are confident. Hence, the pastor have said it's up to them if they are not fulfilling their promise they have made to the people.
So are you getting are you getting more police coming into Diepsloot there?
That's what we're hoping. From today, when we leave here, we've spoken with the Office of the President that from today we want the visibility of police. Not only the visibility, but they must go to areas where we've complained that it is a hotspot of crime.
What happens if you don't get those timelines by Monday?
Hence we're saying, my brother, it's up to them to fulfill our promises. We will do as the community of Diepsloot what we know to do best.
Which is?
No, what we know to do best. Don't worry about witches. Don't worry, witches. Yeah, but we, as the chair says, we want to look forward. We don't want to look back. When we say lasting solutions, we are aware of where the gaps were. We have addressed them, and I'm definitely sure and convinced these issues will be of the past. come Monday.
So what happens now going forward? What happens?
On Monday, going forward now, we are going to proceed as we planned, that we have planned the public meeting, give our people a feedback. Remember, for us to come here and temporarily suspend the protest was to come here and get and engage with the presidents. If, as we have said, we did not get the joy or we're not satisfied with the response that we've got, we're going to go back to the streets. But on Monday, on Friday, we can assure that we'll give this positive outcome our people and say, we've met with the office of the presidency, this is what they're saying, let's give them time. As leaders, we must lead. We don't want to see ourselves forever being known as people who are protesting, burning tires. If there's a solution given to us, let's wait and see if they will be able indeed to fulfill such.
Okay. How united are you as the community? I'll tell you why, because there are allegations that last night the minister was there, met only with a few individuals, including councillors, and then community members were not allowed. Even you as the leaders were not allowed. So how united are you with regard to those allegations?
No, it is wrong for you guys to say community members were there. We have raised that with the office of the minister. People who were there, majority of them, they are not even the residents of Diepsloot. You know, they are leading structures in Diepsloot, yes, but they are not even community members. And we were concerned to be told that the minister is there. And people who are directly affected by crime are not invited. I think the minister was misled. But as a community, as we can see, we are very much united.
But I'm not sure how this happened, because you missed an important occasion. The minister was there. You're complaining about crime, which is under him, the minister.
Yes.
And then there was miscommunication and stuff like that. You are not there part of the thing. I mean, how do you respond to that?
We were not there simply because we were not invited. We were not even aware about that particular meeting. We are not prophets. We cannot just go and attend meetings that we don't even know. We understand that it was an important meeting because Pekikele is one of the ministers that my chairperson here have stated that out of 4 ministers, he will be part of them. We still want to engage his ministry, but Bekikele and, you know, the friends, let me put it that way, never invited us in that meeting. And that cannot be read as, you know, disunity of the community. As the community, we are united, but individuals were there. And I'm saying to you now, majority of people who were there, we know their names. They are not even residing in Diepsloot.
Do you feel disrespected by this, by the minister? Highly
so. We have raised that, and we just want to send a message again, you know, to whoever that is, you know, will be looking at this to say, Bekikele never invited us, you know, as people who are on the crowd with the community. And we feel like we are highly disrespected by that.
Well, there were some of the leaders from Diepsloot just minutes after concluding that meeting that they had held with the office of the president, where they had been raising some of their issues as far as crime is concerned in their community. They wanted the president to come and address the residents on some of those very serious issues in their community as far as crime is concerned. Of course, they're saying that at this stage there are commitments that have been given that on Monday they will be given dates as to when the ministers firstly are going to come and meet with the residents, and following that then the meeting or the president coming to the community perhaps to address them. But at this stage they're saying that the police, they're expecting to be deployed. They're expecting more deployments in that area.
Thank you very much, Manqoba Mchunu there. The very latest at the Union Buildings, where a delegation of leaders from Diepsloot has just met with a deputy director in the presidency of the Republic, getting an undertaking that come Monday, they'll be given time frames as to when a group of 4 cabinet ministers will meet with them ahead of a requested meeting with the President of the Republic to address once and for all the problems of crime that the Diepsloot residents have been facing.